How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're doing another sim racing vid. I'm sorry, I know it's not my normal content. I know I've left it a few weeks since the last one, but I've had so much work to do this week, not just on YouTube, but I mean more actually at work. And so I've not had the time to necessarily record a video like I would have liked to. So instead, I'm giving you some sim racing content because I think I might have found my calling. So as you can see here, there's me spinning out as a result of someone hitting into me, and then there's me spinning out of my own accord as well. So clearly, the Formula 3 cars are clearly not for me. But you may know that my life aspiration has always been to be a Formula 1 driver, and week 13 ridiculous came around on iRacing recently, allowing me to drive the Formula 1 car against the Mazda MX-5, obviously a car close to my heart, and the Radical. So I thought, what better opportunity to jump into a Formula 1 car and race it against cars that definitely can't compete with it, so that I definitely look good at driving. Anyway, it was a race around Tsukuba and it was absolutely nuts, so I thought I'd share it with you. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So myself and my mate lined up first and third on the grid. I was third on the grid and he was first, but I absolutely nandoed the start. So Fernando Alonso, the great, I decided to take a leaf out of his book and absolutely send it up the inside, but because it was my friend, I decided that I would back out and not just send him into some kind of disarray through the second and third corner. So yes, slotted in nicely behind him here, and then thought I would just follow him and see if we could try and break away from the pack. But little did I know that that wasn't even really going to be necessary. This wasn't going to be a race of being intelligent and following someone's lines and basically racing nice and hard, etc. This was going to be a race of survival, basically. I didn't get the fastest lap. I think I got the third fastest or something like that, and ultimately the race came down to whether or not you could keep the car on the track and get around all the back markers, the many MX-5s and the Radicals, without sending yourself into the gravel or into the wall or into one of those cars. So yes, here you can see I'm coming around on the second lap and my mate decides to spin out. Fortunately for him, I managed to get around him and then I carry on driving onto my own. So now I've got the lead to myself, and if you look at the rear view camera, I am starting to get a little bit of a lead, not a massive one, but we're only on lap 2 and already we're coming up to some back markers, some Radicals that have clearly got into a bit of a mess, and you can see there I've nearly sent myself into the gravel through a little bit of a left and right there out of the corner. It's very easy to send this car with a bit too much power or whatever, and you will find yourself struggling, especially on these first few laps where there's no temperature in the tyres, which yeah, makes it quite interesting to drive. In fact, the whole way around the track, it's quite a short lap. Obviously I think it's around about a 43-42 second lap time, so ultimately you don't really get a chance to get any pressure or heat or anything in the brakes and the tyres, and here you can see me starting to struggle with the Mazdas. They are really slow, obviously, compared to the F1 car. Such a shame that, I mean, I do feel like I'm driving an F1 car every time I drive my MX-5, but that's neither here nor there at this point. So yes, coming up onto an absolute gaggle of cars here, and honestly it just gets so ridiculous in these first few laps in particular, everyone battling for position in their respective classes. And here you can see, yeah, having to absolutely slam on the brakes there and go around the outside of that group of cars. It was all absolute mayhem, and I very much at this point started to understand that this was not going to be a race about me trying to go fast, but a race about me just trying to stay on the track. And I literally could not get that first corner right on any lap. Every single lap I seemed to get some kind of understeer, and I suppose that makes sense because I wasn't actually using a Tsukuba setup. I was using the Charlotte Roval setup, which yeah is maybe not the best idea when you're coming into a track blind to just use an old setup, but it seemed to work. It seems to be going okay so far. I'm in the lead, I'm putting in good work. Also, by the way, I've decided to not record it live. So normally I record these live and you get a bit of me in the corner and stuff, but I decided instead to record it separately because some people didn't like the fact that I drive with no steering wheel movement. It kind of gets jarring for people, and I definitely understand that because obviously I can see my own steering wheel and you can't see it moving on screen. So I've decided instead to record and give you like a rear view, as well as on the top right hand side you can see my turning, my pedal input and my position and all that kind of stuff, if that helps at all. So yes, coming up and just literally going past back markers left, right and centre at this point. It's definitely one of the sketchiest experiences in iRacing. Very fun, very enjoyable, super intense. Here you can see that radical kind of getting in my way a little bit. It does get tough. It's a very difficult thing to do, and we'll skip ahead shortly, but for now I just wanted to quickly show you guys how nuts it gets through some of these sections of the track. And here we come onto yet another lap already. So let's skip forward a bit then. We haven't got all day to keep watching me lapping people. As you can see here, Radical has decided to find himself on the side of the track there, and I'm just driving around enjoying myself, trying to get ahead. This is only like the same lap as the one that we were on previously anyway, that I only skipped to, and I'm coming into this massive group of drivers here. Everything goes wrong, and suddenly I get a massive hit from behind, and an MX-5 comes past me. I get hit again. I've no idea what's going on. I've just been a passenger that whole time. And here you can see a bit more clearly, this MX-5 behind me is just like, nah, that's it, let's just send it. I don't care, let's just send that Michael Schumacher-esque ute into the radical realm, I guess. And here's from his perspective as proof of that. You can see I'm up the inside there. He's like, nah, just send him, mate. He's not important. My race is of most importance here. I'll just keep going and like dead last, or wherever it is. I gave him a bit of attitude there on the pass, just got nice and close to him. But yeah, no worries. I mean, that's just how iRacing goes. And also, it's not an actual official racer who really cares. The wing of my car was ruined at this point, so I did have to be a little bit more careful in some of the corners, and also it slightly impacted my top speed. So I knew that I was probably not in as good a place as I was before. I'd also lost the position. I don't know if you spotted in there, but I also went from first down to second. This dude here was going properly slow. It's probably as fast as that MX-5 can go, but it just feels really slow when you're driving an F1 car. But yes, oh yeah, some more carnage going on there. Literally just all sorts of madness going on. Skip forward again a little bit, and we're driving along here, enjoying ourselves, cracking on and lapping some more radicals a bit further down the line. Still in second, haven't managed to catch first place, just evading people and trying to stay out of trouble. And trouble decides to come and find me. This radical here, for some reason, just veers off to the left-hand side. No idea what happened there, and I find myself in the barrier. So here, once again, you can see he veers off, slides around, and then just clarts the absolute life out of me. I actually thought my car was a lot more ruined than it really was. I genuinely thought my car was a bit mashed, but in reality it probably wasn't that bad. I probably could have carried on driving, but you do have a quick repair or whatever it's called. So I decided that yeah, I would just go into the pits, get it fixed up nice and quick, only lose maybe 15 to 20 seconds and carry on driving. So yeah, not the biggest deal in the world, and I've got a bit of a gap to people behind me. So here I pull back out after my quick repair, and I am right behind my mate Drew again. So yeah, just chilling behind him, think I can follow him. I think he's a lap down at this point, if I'm honest. I don't think that he's on the same lap as me, but yeah, he goes very wide there. An interesting line, we'll call it a karting line there, by my mate, just to back him. Obviously he definitely meant to do that. So yes, carrying on, we're driving along here, nothing particularly of interest to talk about at this point. I just wanted to follow him around and basically stick with his pace because he's quite quick. So I knew that I wasn't necessarily going to drive as fast as him because I hadn't been driving as fast the rest of the race. I've been driving quite conservatively. I often drive very conservatively in this, but as you can see here, that conservatism sometimes just disappears out the window. I fancy going a bit labour on them instead, and here you can see he gets a bit stuck, he doesn't know what to do, and I just send it through the middle of those two and then send it over the grass on this guy, and I got a bit of a slowdown penalty there as well, but it doesn't really matter because I'm stuck behind that MX-5 anyway. So here you can see from the outside I was like, nah mate, I'm off, see you later. And also see you later to that dude too for sending me off. So there you can see a TGE spec F1 car on the right there, the IKEA spec, very very nice indeed. Carrying on then, we're pretty much just on to lapping people at this point. I've also remained in second place I think at this point, or maybe I might be on to first. I actually can't see on my thing, the screen's so small I can't actually quite clock. But yes, actually no, there we go, I've switched to first now. So yes, the other guy just literally crashed and ended up in the pits doing his fast repair, and I managed to get past him. So very nice little lap there on those two people, just coming through the middle of them and cracking on in first position, which was very nice to see. So now I think I'm in the clear. I'm just gonna crack on and do a nice little undercut here, but I do still need to bring it home. I've got maybe 20-30 seconds on the guy behind me, and then I think he actually crashed again. I haven't actually managed to find that bit of footage anywhere, but I think he crashed again, allowing me to crack on. That Mazda very nearly hit Clark's the wall there, which was not in his best interests, shall we say. And yeah, for me it was just a case of carrying on driving, bringing it home, and looking after the tyres, Bono. The tyres have to be kept in good shape at all times. Don't let them overheat. In fact, overheating is not really the issue, it's just keeping the heat in the tyres, which is the key issue at this point in time. But yeah, lots of lapping people, being careful, just coming through here. And this is quite an interesting bit of track. So my mate is still behind me at this point. I get absolutely taken to the cleaners by that radical there. But my friend is also cutting through. He's just getting on with it. I think he's a lap down on me at this point. I come to pass these two MX-5s, no issue. They don't seem to hit me or anything. Everything's very well and good. And then if you watch on the top left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that suddenly he just gets absolutely ruined by those MX-5s. And here you can see it a bit more clearly. He's just coming up behind me. Comes into this corner, that MX-5 slices him up and then just throttles it and smashes him in the side. And then that MX-5 doesn't break. He's just like, yeah, I'll send him too. So yeah, that's mission failed there for my good friends. But for me, it's not mission failed. For me, it's carrying on and aiming for that dub. So here we come round onto yet another lap, just lapping more people left, right and centre. It is actually quite a lot of fun doing this and just coming past so many people. It's not like multi-class racing that you'd expect. When you see normal multi-class racing, the cars are generally very close on pace, but honestly it feels like the F1 cars are probably about 30 or 40 seconds faster than the MX-5s on the track, so you're lapping them like every other lap, which is insane. Anyway, let's go through the final lap of the race. So I'm at this point just chilling. There's no need to worry. I've actually got a lap lead over the guy behind me. There's nothing to worry about. As long as I take it home, I've got the dub. In fact, I pretty much have. In fact, I've won. At this point, I've actually won the race. I've got a lap over the guy behind me. So irrespective of what happens at this point, I've won the race. But either way, coming round to do my victory lap, we'll call it instead. Just everyone moving out of the way, parting the Red Seas here. Loads of MX-5s getting out of the way, and onto that last main straight to bring home another Ferrari win. Very grateful to all the fans, obviously, the Tifosi back home, all the boys, grazie ragazzi, all that good stuff. And yeah, another dub for Ferrari. Very, very happy with that. Michael Schumacher, I hope he's proud of me. I hope all of them are proud of me. Doing some spins here as well for the fans, and no one seemed to like it. Everyone just wanted to send me into the realm, so you'll find me there. But yeah, that's the confirmed results in the race. Took the dub by a lap. Obviously, it's all just luck and there's no real skill involved there. It was all basically just survival. So I wanted to say a massive thank you to the patrons for their continued support. I hope you guys have enjoyed this slightly different style of video. Obviously, I don't generally do sim racing videos, but loads of you have been asking for them more often, so I thought I'd provide. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Listen.